Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of United Talks podcast. And today we're going to be breaking down everything that Rúben Amorim has said in his pre-match press conference ahead of the Burnley game. Now, it is very important that we as Man United fans, kind of drill down into the details with regards to what Rúben Amorim has said in that game ahead of the game. And we're going to be taking the, I think we're going to be analyzing like the first part of the press conference, the first part of the pre-match press conference. And he said in his words, like basically the what we got from that was that he said he will continue to be honest the way he is. That's the highlight of the whole press conference, that he will continue to be honest the way he communicates with the media. Following Wednesday night's penalty shootout defeat to Grimsby Town. So we're going to analyze everything that Rúben Amorim has said ahead of Burnley, like I said. And one of the first questions that was the first question that was asked, though the first of the questions, especially for the part one of the press conference that was asked, is after the defeat to Grimsby, you made a few comments about something needing to change, and the players spoke very loudly about the performance just a few days after. Can you clarify what you meant by those comments? And Rúben Amorim says, I know when I speak these things, to be really honest with you guys, every time we had or we have in the future one defeat like that, I'm going to be like that. So it's like it's never going to change. He says I'm going to say some things sometimes I hate, sometimes I love my players, sometimes I want to defend my players, and this is the way I want to do things, and I'm going to be like that. I felt in that moment I was so frustrated and annoyed. I know you have a lot of experienced people talking about the way I should perform in the media, to be more constant, to be more calm. I'm not going to be like that. I'm trying to accept that I am going to be who I am. That's why I have the passion that I have in that moment. I was really upset and really disappointed because I felt like we had a good preseason and we were playing better. We were being consistent in the way we played. We played badly for 30 minutes against Fulham, and then that kind of performance at Grimsby. I was really disappointed with everything. But now it's a new game and I'm focused on the next game. And they kept asking him questions regarding this thing. I think the next one was done by Simon Stone, because it's always the number 2 person that asks the next question. So Simon Stone asked, he says, you also said you'd have time to think, and I appreciate that you were emotional. No, this one wasn't by Simon Stone, but he said, you also said you'd have time to think, and I appreciate your emotional I appreciate you were emotional after the Grimsby game, but you said after the Burnley game you'd have time to think. You have to think about thinking international break. I was just wondering, are you planning to have some conversations with Jason Wilcox? And I'm like, he said he was emotional. He said why he reacted the way he reacted. I'll have time to think could mean that I'll have time to rethink what I am doing with regards to the way we're playing and how I'm going to approach certain things. And he said, I always have conversations with them. I'm focusing on the game and I need to live this day by day. I am understanding that I am going to be like that all the time, so prepare yourselves. Basically giving them a head start or a warning to say, you know what, you guys prepare yourself for what's about to come when it comes to when we lose games and stuff. And then I think this was where Simon Stone came in. He said, I take on board that what you were saying, but what you said, people think you could walk away on Monday. He said, actually Simon Stone said on Monday, it brings an air of uncertainty. Are you aware of that? Do you have to accept that is part of your emotion? And then Rúben Amorim responded and says, if you are one way and if you have this kind of behavior, you have to understand that you have things that are good and then you have the other side of the coin. Now he's saying kind of like, if you are one way and you have good things, you could also have another side of you and like another side of the coin. So he now says, I understand, and again, sometimes I want to quit. This is the key point of this press conference. He says, sometimes I want to quit Sometimes I want to be here for 20 years. Sometimes I love to be with my players. Sometimes I don't want to be with them. I need to improve on that. It's going to be hard, but now I'm focused on the next game. So he kept trying to drag them back to the next game to talk about, the next game and stuff. And I guess that's pretty much what they talked about in part 2. But we're reviewing part 1. Part 2, you're going to see the clips on the channel. So just go watch and put in your comments and let me know your thoughts and feelings about that. And then with regards to other things with regards to transfer, this was another question Simon Stone asked. He said, just in terms of some of your players, we were told yesterday that there is a deal agreed for Alejandro Garnacho to go to Chelsea, Rasmus Højlund to go to Rasmus Højlund is going to Napoli, but we know Kobbie Mainoo, he said he wants to leave on loan because he doesn't believe he's going to play many games. Could you just update us on all 3 of those situations? And then he said, no, until it's official, I cannot say much. I want Kobbie Mainoo to stay, which is the key point. He needs to fight for his place, which is also the key point. And I've said this several times, he needs to fight for his place and we need Kobbie, right? That is not going to change. The rest, I don't know, how it's going to finish. I understand that the players who are not playing in this moment are disappointed. Everyone will have same opportunity to play. You have to fight during the week. So he's basically just reiterating the fact that Man United players need to understand that their time will come. Their time will come. They will play games, but they don't have to continue to now kind of throw tantrums or put stuff out in the media and allow their agents to kind of go in the media and say stuff that will disappoint all of us. I mean, Garnacho's deal has been confirmed. He said, here we go. We're going to break it down furthermore and just review his time at United in another video and all of that. Maybe after the whole Premier League games are done, or maybe on Sunday. But we need to talk about this Amorim situation because obviously some of the players needed to go, and I understand why Garnacho would have left. He probably wanted to hit back at United when he plays with against United at Chelsea, but it is what it is. Now, like I said, every player, so if you don't want to be fighting for your place, do you think that Bruno or Casemiro will play the entire season? There are so many games that Casemiro and Bruno will not be in the squad, especially for Mainoo, right? Even Ugarte. What about Ugarte that has been subbed off and blamed for everything? What do you expect him to do? To not fight for his place? Think about it. Anyway, with regards to the next question, the next reporter asked, Rúben, you said towards the end of last season that if you felt the feeling this season was the same as last season, maybe someone else should take your place. Do you feel like the feeling has changed despite the results? Rúben Amorim responded in a way that we all felt after the game against Grimsby Town. He said, I felt that after the game. I don't feel that now. It's a little bit like that. I think that's the honest part, or that's the hardest part of the defeat. Sometimes it's not the result. It's the way we lost or drew the game. That is the thing that's hard to accept because we can do better. It's the small things, recovery positions, fight for the ball, running, all these small things. Sometimes we dropped a little bit the level. Now, the good thing is that we now have the next game to put the level up, and that is the focus. So with each question he was asked, he kept drawing them back to the focus of the Burnley game because they kept asking questions about Grimsby. And I'm sure he's given his take on Grimsby and we're taking it from the media. I don't know why they want to clarify certain things, but I guess they're doing their jobs. So we have to take it the way it is and take it as that is what they're trying to do. So basically, that's pretty much what Rúben Amorim has said in the part 1 of the press conference. In the part 2, he talked more on the style of play. He talked because they asked him questions around the style of play. They asked him questions around, things that have to do with, why have you not decided to change and all of that. But one thing I want to say here with regards to this Amorim thing is, when we had these questions that the press are asking Amorim to change his style of play and stuff, this was the same thing they hounded Erik ten Hag for. Basically, Erik ten Hag had a style of play. He came with the Ajax way, 4-3-3 style of play, with one pivot in midfield, and lost the first 2 games, and then immediately reverted back to a 4-2-3-1 that he met when Ole Gunnar Solskjaer was here. And then the next thing, they're asking Amorim the same question as to, does it mean you are not flexible? This formation does not work. You said style of systems are overrated, but this system isn't working. Are you not planning to change and all of that? And he said he's not changing. He's like, this is what he's known and what he's used to win. In the other formations, he's played in them, so he knows what those formations are. But this one is the one that works for him. And it doesn't mean that it's a 3-4-3 based off of what you've always seen. That it's fluid, it's movement. There's movements. But he now said, and he broke it down into nitty-gritty, into details. That's why you need to watch. I'm going to post those clips. He broke it down into the nitty-gritty. He said, basically, by the time that he's trying to coach his players, that by the time they get to the point where, okay, this thing is like muscle memory, they know where everybody, just the way Sir Alex Ferguson had it in those days, right? It's like muscle memory. They know, everybody knows where everybody is. Everybody knows where, where things are, like, where your player is. You pass the ball when you need to, you shoot the ball when you need to, you square play, you switch play, and all of that. Then we can now say, okay, we want to adapt or want to switch and all of that. That is what Rúben Amorim had to say. And that's what Rúben Amorim had to kind of reiterate to the press, because it seems to me that they kept asking the same question that they hounded Erik ten Hag for. That is the thing. And I see the strategy there. And it is more important for us as Man United fans to back the manager. It is more important for us as Man United fans to back the manager. But it is what it is. So that's where we are. And that's what it is right now. I'm going to review the other, parts of the press conference, but part 2 has already been released, and we're going to just review that, and you'll see the clips on the channel. So let me know your thoughts and feelings about, what Rúben Amorim has said. I've released a match preview for the Burnley game, and I expect that you guys are going to go watch it and let me know your thoughts and feelings in the comment section. Also, what do you expect from this game against Burnley? I ask once again, what do you think about what Rúben Amorim's thoughts and comments, especially about Kobbie Mainoo, especially about the transfers and all of that? And there's also some twists in the Anthony transfer where we will break it down, I think probably on Monday or on Sunday, depending on how things are. We're going to break down all of the transfers that have gone on ahead of transfer deadline. So let me know your thoughts and feelings in the comment section, and I'll see you on the next one. Thank you so much for watching. Thanks so much for liking, sharing, and subscribing. I'll see you on the next one. If you haven't already, please do like, share, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you don't have to miss anything as it relates to Manchester United. We're going to be bringing you as we see, as we confirm the news. So thank you so much for liking. Thanks so much for subscribing. I'll see you on the next one. Take care. Goodbye, and God bless.